They host Ohio State next year, but they got to come to Sparty. They can't win that game. They can't beat Ohio State. I mean, Urban Meyer and Mark D'Antonio are combined. What is Harbaugh? 1-5 against them in 3 years. They don't have anything. He doesn't have anything coming next year. So the question is, a lot of fans are like, well, is he going to be back next year? Is this a make or break year for Harbaugh? Well, just ask yourself this, Michigan fan. If you do fire Jim Harbaugh or he leaves, what are you going to do? Because there is nobody else. See, first it was Lloyd Carr's fault. And then, so you fired Lloyd Carr or forced him out, resign. And so you bring in Rich Rodriguez because he's going to fix all the problems. Well, then it was Rich Rodriguez's fault that they weren't winning. So get rid of him and bring in Brady Hoke. And of course, Brady Hoke is the savior. They go 11-2 and with a weak schedule, and everybody's like, we're back. Well, then one of them two, they can't beat anybody with Brady Hoke either. So they ended up getting, in 2013, I have never in my life witnessed a beat down like Michigan State gave to them. That kid that was the quarterback in his not Tate Force, yeah, this kid, it's the quarterback at Central Michigan right now, Shane Morris, came in and because the starting quarterback got knocked out. Shane Morris came in. They hit him so hard that he literally was woozy walking off, and they had to bring the quarterback back in to finish the game. And it was raining all day and cold. And at 29-6, Michigan State just pounded them for 4 quarters, and nothing has changed. That was Brady Hoke's. That was his team, and so you say, wait, let him get his guys in here. Well, he got his guys in here, and they still stunk. So what do? Let's make a big splash. Let's go get Jim Harbaugh. How has that worked out? Michigan still has not won the division, hasn't played in the Big Ten championship, can't even. I have to send all of you U of M fans directions to the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis because you've never been, nor will you be anytime soon. So you start talking about, is this a make or break year for Jim Harbaugh? At the very least, Jim Harbaugh has a name. If you force him out, what are you going to do? Who's going to be your next head coach? I just don't know what the plan is here. There's no one else you can blame this on except for this ridiculous fan base that expects way too much. When you were, like I've always said, when you won that 1914, that stirring national championship against Yale, and the University of Chicago the year before, people are like, man, stop. Those days are over. There is an entire generation that has never seen Michigan win anything. So first off, Michigan fans, start with reality. Then when you start seeing yourself, there's a assistant coach somewhere at a junior high school football team that would love to coach that team and would bring something to you. But that's about where you are. You're like a Horizon League level team. So enjoy, Michigan fans. I don't know how many of you got a chance to watch the game last night, but whoa. I've been really hard on Miles Bridges this season. It just appears that they lack leadership. There isn't a clear-cut leader on that team, but man, oh man, Coach Izzo put the ball in his hands tonight, and Miles Bridges comes through and hits a tremendous 3 in the face of the defender to beat Purdue, the number 3 ranked team in the country, 68-65. Now, Ohio State is the number one now, is in first place in the Big Ten, and Michigan State sits a game back of them. One game back in the standings, but actually it's 1.5 games because of the head-to-head matchup. So let's just say, for instance, that Michigan, the Ohio State, the remaining games they have 4 games left. They're at Penn State, at Michigan, home against Rutgers, and then they go on the road again against Indiana, which is get 3 away games, and the one that I say stands out is that I can actually see is that Michigan gets up for a rivalry and beats them. And the Michigan State fans are like, yeah, we tied for the Big Ten and we're champs. No, that if in the name when you tie like that, in the instance of a tie, it goes to head-to-head, and Ohio State will be the Big Ten champion. So actually, Michigan State is 1.5 back with 4 games to play and no more head-to-head matchups against them. So I don't really like the chance of Sparty winning the Big Ten this year. You're going to have to focus on the tournament, the Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA tournament. I don't really see a chance that Ohio State loses 2 more games the rest of the season. They are playing out of their mind. They're playing so far above their talent. It's just when you catch a hot team like that, you just gotta wait it out, and so that's where we're at right now. But I'm gonna tell you this: if somehow they lost their next game to Penn State, and now going into the Michigan's game, if Ohio State loses to Michigan, now Michigan State's in the driver's seat to be the Big Ten champs. You think I'm going to sit back and cheer for that JV squad in Ann Arbor to beat them? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. The Big Ten is a nice consolation prize for this team, but the goal has been and always will be the Big Ten, the NCAA tournament, and that's not going to be. We don't need as fans of Michigan State to link all your hopes to this Big Ten championship. So, it is what it is. Ohio State has earned it, and if they do, congratulations to them. When you think back to when Thad Matta was there and the talent that he had, and this team is nowhere near as talented as that, and they're so much better than that. So that new coach they got down there is really, they're doing good things. So maybe a new player in the game. A couple things for next week. Our old friend of the show, former All-American wide receiver Herb Haygood, is going to stop by the studio, so that's something to look forward to. Also, the producer, our producer for the show, Eric Schoberg, will be in studio next week. So I'm going to co-host with him next week, and that should be fun because, what I really find amusing in this is that Mr. Schoberg likes to think of himself as a sports guru. So next week we're going to put that to the test right here. He's going to come on and we're going to, chop it up and go back and forth and really cover all this stuff. So a little treat for everybody next week. Pitchers and catchers report this week. So hot stove going on in Florida. Everything is coming together for the off season in baseball. 6 weeks until opening day. Baseball season's almost back. Time to get excited about baseball if you love baseball. Who doesn't love baseball? So 6 weeks until baseball. Yu Darvish signs with the Cubs. I don't know if people are excited about that. It has to change the balance of power in the NL Central. Yu Darvish is a solid pitcher, so they needed quality starting pitching, and they got it with him. Also next week, $137.5 million. Jimmy Garoppolo signs our quarterback in San Francisco 49. So we're going to have to get into that contract. Also, I want to know if everyone thinks that is a good investment. We'll get into all that next week. Plus the Josh McDaniels fiasco in Indianapolis and the ridiculous back and forth with them. It's embarrassing. So all that and lots more next Sunday. You know the time, 11 a.m., right back here. Herb Haygood, Eric Schoberg, both in studio next week. Tune in next Sunday morning, 11 a.m., right back here. Until then, unsportsmanlike conduct.